But
we're
speaking of excellence, I want to, before we get too much farther in, I wanted Andrew to talk about. Andrew's an author, and Andrew has a new book coming out. So I just wanted to give him a second to talk about his new book and tell us what it's all about, Andrew.
cool. So thank you for that. Horneytown Chutzpah is a Jewish fantasy noir. It's about a demon who is being framed for murder, except for the fact that demons can't kill. They can manipulate, they can seduce, they can lie, they can torture, but killing ends the torment, so it's not allowed. Now, the demon's problem is she can't let humans know that demons can't kill, because humans are already bad enough. And if they think they can get away with more, they're going to get even worse. So I set this story in a suburb of Washington, D.C., because the devil went to vacation in Washington, D.C., it turns out, once, and realized that humans have gotten better at torturing humans than his own minions. So he wanted to upskill the workforce. And as Washington Commanders fans, we know that hell can be in D.C. because we have lived through the Snyder years.
Yeah, totally.
So basically, she hires a detective instead of a lawyer to try to get her off the frame job. And so, because this is a Jewish version of a noir, I've got my detective grabbing a super soaker, loading it up with Manischevitz instead of holy water, and he's squirting demons all over the place to melt them and trying to figure out what really happened. And so that's basically the story. The thing that's blown my mind is some really reputable author who got a preview read said this book is Who Framed Roger Rabbit meets Michael Chabon, Cavalier and Clay and the Yiddish Policemen's Union. And that's just wild to me. And so if someone needs catharsis, if someone needs a laugh, if someone needs a little goofiness, if someone needs a taste of Mel Brooks Yiddish in their life, it might be something for you.
Very cool.
Nice.
And you promise that the demon is not like Dan Snyder in disguise or anything, right?
No, the demon is sexy, so it is not Dan Snyder. And again, I don't know. Maybe you find Dan Snyder. You never know.
So where can folks find your? I guess the book's not released yet, right? So
the book is going to be released in sort of two stages. It's being published by a small press called Athos Arts, and right now, people who belong to NetGalley can get preview copies in the beginning of September. They're going to do a crowdfunder on Kickstarter. And that's a chance for people to get copies of the book and the audio book in advance of the release in 2026. Now, going a little inside baseball, and I'm not sure if I should say this, but going a little inside baseball, because you guys know I always talk too much. The way it works in publishing is every pre-sale copy sold count on the first day of the release. So that's the way a small press actually can compete with the big boys, because you suddenly have 1,000 or you have 1,500 books sold, and you have your little guy having an equal number of sales as a Penguin book or a larger book. It's that way. I had a fractured fairy tale called A Climbing Stock, and when it came out, it was the 16th bestseller on Amazon, and it stayed there for a couple months. I was selling better than Jon Stewart for a short amount of time, but some of it was that pre-buff. So it is very useful for authors to get those pre-sales. And I always find this part of the conversation awkward because I'm not a natural buy my book kind of guy. But if anyone wants to check it out, go to Kickstarter, type in the search bar Horneytown, Hornytown. And if you want to know why it's Hornytown, because that's been controversial, I can tell you. Okay, I see Tony. So there are two reasons.
I live in Horneytown, Andrew, every day of my fucking life.
One is possibly that. But when I was writing the book, I wanted a funny name for where we would put hell, especially since hell became sort of a sin city and a little bit of a Las Vegas place where people would go to work off some of their sin ledger. But I also thought, if I was going to create a place in hell near Washington, D.C., what would Warner Brothers have called it if Bugs Bunny forgot to take that left turn at Albuquerque? And I could see in my mind that sign in a Looney Tunes cartoon that says Hornytown with these little horns. And so that's where my brain went. It actually didn't go to the porn side. I know a lot of people's brains do go that way, but
well,
that's awesome.
so please keep your eye out for Andrew Hiller's book.